This video is going to give you 2 tips on how you can increase your phone's battery life by keeping the apps that run on it in check and keeping them from doing things that would dramatically reduce your battery life when you don't want them to. The first has to do with multitasking. iOS has a really neat way of handling multitasking, or the idea of getting more than one process done at the same time. The thing is, regular computers and mobile devices approach multitasking completely differently, and here's why. Say you're not on your phone, and you're on a regular computer. You open up a web browser and a video that you want to watch at the same time. Your computer has no way of knowing what you're actually looking at and trying to get done, so it has to assume that both the movie you're watching and what you're doing on the web need to get done simultaneously. So that's what it does. Your computer juggles browsing the web and watching videos, doing as much work as they both need all the time. So on computers, it makes sense to always quit apps that you aren't using, because your computer is usually giving all open applications the resources they need all the time and lowering its battery life. To contrast this, on iPhones and iPads, you can only have one app open at one time. If I open Candy Crush, I can't also be browsing the web, and if I'm watching Netflix, I can't also be playing Candy Crush. Your phone knows this and uses it to its advantage. If you don't have Netflix or Candy Crush or the internet open right in front of you, it'll hold on to where you were, but suspend it. It'll suspend the app and stop it from using any more resources. So for the most part, only the apps that you have open in the foreground in front of you that you're interacting with are the things that really consume any battery power. I'm sure some of you are thinking about other apps like Snapchat or Google Maps that for most users are exceptions to this one active foreground app rule and will interrupt you with new notifications regardless of what apps you're in or what they're doing. It's clear that they're doing something in the background, so what gives? That's where the idea of background app refresh comes in. I'll show you. Background app refresh is a list of apps that are allowed to update their data or run tasks on your phone in the background instead of simply being suspended when you aren't actively in them. Take out your mobile device and go to Settings, General, Background App Refresh. And you can see a list of the apps that do and do not have the go-ahead to do stuff in the background. You can also turn off Background App Refresh altogether to help increase battery life. Here you can see that I have way too many apps doing things when I'm not using them, and it's killing my battery life. You can tap the switches to the right of each app to toggle Background App Refresh for the individual app. To make my phone last longer, I'm going to turn them all off except for apps that I really care about and use frequently, namely Twitter and GroupMe. The other big thing that apps do is check for your location. Having a GPS in your pocket is great, but anybody who's used their phone to navigate on a long road trip can tell you that location services can be a huge drain on battery life. Your device has a long list of reasons it would need to know its location, but you're still in control and get to decide when it does and when it doesn't. Go to Settings, Privacy, and then Location Services. Here's where you can see a list of apps that would be able to access the phone's GPS location. Well, you can turn these on or off much like you did with Background App Refresh. For example, I'm going to allow the Rutgers app access to my location because it shows me what bus stops are near me. The other way you can save battery is by selectively disabling services that are a part of your phone if you scroll all the way to the bottom and tap System Services. These are all situations where your phone chooses to access its own location. Here, you can use the toggle switch again to turn on or off System Services. I'm going to turn off location-based ads because I definitely don't need that, but I'm going to turn on nearby traffic information for Apple Maps. There are many other more well-known tips to increase battery life, like lowering your brightness or turning off Wi-Fi. But keeping your apps in check and from doing things that drain your phone's battery is the best way to keep your phone lasting as long as possible.